All right, welcome back to the show along with Nick Aliotti Nigel Burton, Mike Yam with you. You know, a couple weeks ago when Oregon State, Washington State played, Coach, I don't want to misquote you, but I don't think, paraphrasing here, you didn't think they had much of a chance to win Oregon State, and the Beavs somehow were able to figure this thing out. It was a sloppy game. It was an ugly game. You saw just some moments that made you cringe from a Cougs perspective here. I will give you an opportunity to tell me once again, Coach, can the Beavs make it 2 in a row in the same season against Washington State?
Well, first of all, Major Crow and Nigel was right on how that game had to go. I gave him all his love right after that game last week, but no way. No way.
Double down.
The Cougs, I'm doubling down. You got that right, Yammer. The Cougs are playing for a bowl game. I don't even know where Oregon State's head is. They're not really playing for much. They're Cougs at home. Everything kind of went right for Oregon State up there. I really don't even see this within 2 touchdowns. So I'm saying the Cougs. They've been the Cougs all year, kind of hot and cold on offense, but very aggressive, tough defense, and they play better at home. So I like what the Cougs have looked like, and I hope they can make a bowl game.
Going back to that James Madison game, again, they found themselves on the road, ranked opponent, the darling of the CFP, and had a chance to just mess the whole thing up. And then we got one little glimpse of bad Zevi. One pass play. That's all, really, because I thought he played an outstanding game. But that was a terrible interception that he threw. I mean, it was clearly a covered receiver. Pressure in his face. I'm not really sure. It's like he has these little blips where it's just like, I want to really stand on the sideline and be like, bro, what are you doing? Yeah, like I just want to know like what went through your thought process. Outside of that, he played really well. I think this one has a different formula for Oregon State. I'm curious who starts at quarterback. Is it going to be Jabari Johnson? Is it going to be the kid Tia? I think when it's all said and done, if I'm Rob Akey, I'm saying the hell with it. Because the one thing that I watched about this freshman kid is he plays quarterback, right? When you watched him, in their last game on the road, he was able to just play quarterback. He'll sit in the pocket. He delivers the football. You don't have to, he's athletic enough to do some stuff, but the ball comes out of his hand now for real. I mean, he threw some laser beams on seam routes, especially to our guy Sauce Walker. So I'm curious, like, if he gets the start, here's what I'm going to tell the kid. I'm going to say, listen, I'm probably not going to coach you next year, okay? And I don't even know if you're going to be here next year. So you know what we do? You see what this game plan is? Here's the game plan. Here's a lighter. We're going to light it up. I want to see at least 2 to 3 bombs thrown per quarter. Throw it down the field to David Wells. Throw it down the field to Sauce Gardner. Do what Washington State used to do to people back in the day of the Dennis Ericksons and the Mike Leaches. They would throw the ball down the field and be like, listen, 1 out of every 3, we're going to catch the ball or we're going to get a pass interference. We don't really care. And that's how we're going to matriculate the ball down the field. And then when they start backing up, we'll use Anthony Hankerson and run the football on you. So that's what I want to see this game, as opposed to all the boots and stuff we did with Jabari Johnson. Chuck it, and let's see what happens to get those big plays, those big chunks. Because you know what happens if we hit a few of them and we go up? Zevi's going to be like, oh, I can do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's when
you get some of those mistakes.
Start getting nervous.
But Coach, don't you trust Washington State's defense more than Oregon State's defense?
Cougs play great defense. Freshman court, if they play that young kid, he'll do some good things, but there'll be a lot of mistakes. No, I'm not seeing it.
Hey,
Cougs
I got
playing
proof,
for a
Coach.
bowl game. This is not even.
James Madison hit him deep. Now, granted, it was kind of a trick play, but they hit him deep. And David Wells has actually been shown to be able to make some 50-50 jump balls, and we know Sauce can. So might as well. I mean, what you got to lose? The kid throws a pick, just call it a punt. And let's be honest, Beavers struggle to punt. I mean, just call it.
It's not about talent level. It's about where's their head. And I think the Beavers probably have their bats already sacked, put away, where the Cougars are playing for something. So that's where I'm looking at it.
Yeah, and actually does make sense from this perspective. The conversation on who the next coach is going to be, and Najee said it. Hey, like Aki goes in there and goes, I don't know if I'm gonna be around you guys. I don't even know if you're going to be here. I mean, those words alone in the landscape of what college football is just wild to me. The only other thing that I would sort of put a bow on this conversation, and I want to get both your guys' take on this. If I'm Washington State and I'm like this fan base, I sit here and I go, look, if we win, we're a bowl eligible team. That's great. What is this season though? Because Ole Miss on the road almost won. Virginia almost won. James Madison game almost won. Like, you're talking about some of the best teams in the country. Nige, you and I were talking about this before we got out here. If Washington State beat Ole Miss, what's the conversation about Lane Kiffin getting a new job and getting paid? Like, where does that go? I have no idea what that looks like.
Hey, if ifs and buts were whatever is in nuts.
No,
I mean, yeah,
I
I
know.
get you. But hey, listen, all part of the plan. All part of the plan. I'll be honest with you. They might be a year ahead because what typically happens when a new staff comes in, you kind of get your butt handed to you usually, especially when you have to reload the way that Washington State had to reload. The next year is the year that you keep games close. You go on the road. You have those games where you're pulling your hair out because you could have won them. And then the third year is the year you start winning those close games. And fourth is where you see if you can just start putting people away. They're kind of a year ahead. They're keeping games close that they probably shouldn't be. So you kind of build on that. That's why the bowl game is so big for them. And you say, hey, now next year, if all you guys kind of come back and we kind of get this sucker rolling, we're going to win those things. And then let's see what happens. Because we're in the newfangled Pac-12. You think they're looking at the Sun Belt Conference the way they look at our conference? You win this sucker, you're probably in.
Yeah. Coach, you see it that way?
I see that the Cougars much improved ahead of schedule, but if they don't make a bowl game, great disappointment.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Washington State, it's a 13.5-point lie where the Cougs are the favorite. You can catch it on the CW. I'll be in studio. Nigel will be on the sidelines, if I'm not mistaken, for this one here. Coach Aliotti, what's the pick?
I got the Cougars all the way. I think it's a 2-touchdown win.
Yeah.
He can't do it. He can't do it.
I don't know who's going to start a quarterback. So that's the only reason I'm going to have to take the Cougs. If they start the young kid, I'll flip late.
All right, fair enough.